Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel, the home channel for trainers, coaches, content creators, and service providers. It's been a minute, but you're back. Today, I would like us to discuss what are the things that you should consider before quitting your job, especially if you do not have another job in waiting. And before I go far, I have a disclaimer. I'm not an expert in these issues, and I'm also not your guru in advising how to quit. I actually don't want to advise anybody to quit. I want to give my personal experience. I quit before having another job or having a mature business. And so the things I experienced, some were very painful, and I would like to share today so that if you have planned to quit, you don't have to go through what I went through. So that's a disclaimer, not telling anybody to quit. This is a personal journey, but if you have decided to quit, keep watching and keep subscribing. So what is the first thing that you should consider before quitting and you don't have another job? And my number one is always to ask yourself, why exactly am I quitting? Why exactly are you leaving your job? Are you leaving your job because you don't like it anymore? Are you leaving your job because you don't like your manager? Are you leaving your job because the industry is suffering? Are you leaving your job because somebody has promised you another job and has not yet given you a letter? Why exactly are you leaving your job? Are you leaving your job because it doesn't pay you well? And the reason I would like you to deeply think about it is because I've had people come for coaching, and when we evaluated their reasons for leaving their jobs, I don't think they should have left their jobs. And in this economy and where the world is today, it's very important to be mature about quitting. I'm not saying you should quit or you should not quit. I am saying we should be mature about it by deeply thinking, why are you quitting? And if the reason you are quitting could be, something you can work around, it could actually be your attitude. If you work on your attitude, then probably you will keep your job. It could be probably you don't like your manager. Is there something you can do to work out your relationship with your manager? It could be a colleague at work. Is there something you can do to work out that relationship? In essence, I want to say, weigh the pros and the cons of quitting your job. I've had people quit their job, and then the medical insurance and all that, the other insurances that they get, they cannot get them out here and they end up suffering. I've had people quit their jobs with the intention of running businesses, then they come out here and discover that they really cannot run a business. And so what that makes you do is to go back looking for a job and giving you the same feelings that you are trying to run away from. So my number one for you to consider is, why are you quitting that job? If it's something you can work on, if it's something you can hire a coach to help you around, if it's something you can talk to your manager or your director, if it's something that you can do about and your job is better than quitting, then keep your job but improve on your skills. Number two, before you quit and you don't have another job on the side and you don't even have a business, how much money do you have to settle down? The money you have, will it help you cope until the next job comes around? And my dear ones, we need to consider that these jobs, sometimes they take too long to come. Probably there's a company that promised you a job, but they take too long before they recruit, before the recruitment process is complete. So before then, what will you be doing? How will you be surviving? You need to think, let me tell you, it can be extremely exhausting to try set up a new business with no coin in the bank, or with you seeing your money dwindling. You could have a lot of money. I worked for a corporate company in my country, Kenya. I earned good money. So by the time I left the company, I had some money in the bank, some good money in the bank. However, it's not interesting to watch your money dwindling day in, day out. It's dwindling and you don't have another source of income. So you are not adding to the basket. You're just taking out. It's not interesting, and that doesn't give you a peace of mind. And quitting your job should not be the reason why you lose your mind. And so I would like you to ask, have a conversation with yourself and come up with, how much money do I have before my next source of income? Can my family survive on this money? Will this make me live a lesser quality life than I was living? I want to talk to the men. If you're the breadwinner, and I don't know why they call it the breadwinner, I don't know. But if you're the breadwinner, or even it could be the lady who is the breadwinner, and you want to quit your job, and you don't have another job on the side, what will happen to your family? Will they continue to go to hospital as they were going? Will they continue to, will you continue to pay school fees? Will you be comfortable attending meetings? If it's a new business you want to start, will that money help you register a business, legally, because really don't get into trouble trying to have fishy businesses? Will that money help you register a business, manage an office, manage, your daily expenses? If you have a car, can you fuel that car until that time that you can get some more income? That's a sober conversation I would like you to have with yourself and with your spouse if you're married. I want to be a little vulnerable and say that at some point I needed to tell my spouse, I need your support in this and this area. But I was telling him when I had already quit. So I would like you to have this conversation with your spouse before you quit and ask each other, if I quit and no job is forthcoming anytime soon, can we survive on your money? Can we survive on your salary, or can we survive on your business revenues? Can we survive? I was lucky to have someone who supported me. I've had to deal with business people whose spouses are not supporting them. And that's depressing. And some of the reasons businesses fail is because you don't have peace of mind. You cannot think straight to build your business. And the reason is you don't have money to operate. And that's a risky place to be in. So don't forget that you have bills to pay, you have parents to look after, you have siblings to look after, you have family obligations, you have life obligations. You probably want to hire a coach, to help you move from one level to the other. Where is this money going to come from? So that's point number 2 I would like you to consider. Point number 3. And the reason I like you guys is because you follow this channel. And in this channel, I like to be vulnerable and I like to tell you the truth. Truth number 3, there will be social pressure. Social pressure because traditionally, having a job is a cool thing. Your parents told you, work hard, go to school, get a job. And so you've decided you no longer want to have a job. So social pressure is going to come. Your parents are going to ask you, so now you don't have a job, what is going to happen? What are you doing? This is the question I kept getting. So what do you do with your life nowadays? My parents, and I know the reason they asked is because they care about me. Your brothers and sisters are going to ask you, so you resigned from a very well-doing company to start a training business. How is it doing? Your friends who care about you and your relatives and your close circles are going to be asking you, so what are you up to, Betty? What are you up to? What is this business you keep telling us about? And that is social pressure. What that can do to you is to put pressure on you such that you start doubting your decisions. You start wondering, should I go back to my old job? Should I now apply to another corporate to employ me? Should I leave what I'm starting to build and go back to work because the pressure is too much? I have seen especially the men come and tell me, Betty, I actually left my job to start a business, but the pressure is too much. And when I dig deep, I get that, people are asking you, what are you up to? What are you doing with your life? Where will you get this and this and this from? And you see the problem comes in when, you have friends, you have relatives, there are these functions that people need to, contribute some money, and you have none. Or you go out with your friends and you cannot have a drink and you make them feel uncomfortable. And so they start asking you the real deep, hard questions. What are you up to? These questions are not meant to hurt you. In fact, they don't ask you intentionally meaning to hurt you. They ask because they care. However, that pressure can again intentionally hurt you and put pressure on you such that you start feeling, I think I need to look for another job. And now that's a zero-based game. It's a zero-sum game, because you get back to the same job that you're trying to run away from, the same problems, and you don't develop. So before you quit your job without another one lined up, kindly note there shall be social pressure, and decide how you're going to deal with that. And lastly, my point number 4, before you quit your job, to go and look for a job once you've already quit, or to go start a new business, kindly note from Coach Betty Mwaura, it shall be emotionally draining. It will be stressful. Sometimes you're going to be filled with doubts, and sometimes you're going to wonder, what happened to me? What happened to my decision-making skills? And you're going to have that turmoil within yourself. So it's going to take up your emotional strength. And the reason you should prepare for that is because it's going to take a lot of hard work to get a new job or to start a new business. Let me talk about business, because that's what I do. Business, if you want to quit your work so that you start a business so that you can sleep a little bit more, please keep your job. If you want to start a business so that you stop getting stressed by your boss, please keep your job. If you want to start a business so that you can go and choose all the nice clients and the nice colleagues to work with, please keep your job. New businesses are hard work. It means you're going to be working long hours. It's not about 9 to 4 or 9 to 5 or 8 to 4 or 8 to whatever time. Your own business, it's 8 till done. It's 8 till revenues. And so it's going to put pressure on you. It's going to be hard work. It's going to be long hours. You're going to be working over the weekend when everybody else is resting. You will not know that it's Christmas because you need to pay bills. It's going to call for hard sacrifices. You're going to miss all those good social events because a client needs their work done and done on time. You're going to miss family events. You're going to miss your sister's birthdays and all those things. Are you strong enough? Are you emotionally intelligent to deal with all kind of emotions that come with you missing out, you having to work so hard, you having to lose out on a lot of other things? Are you mentally prepared? I tell all my coaches that you need mental toughness to run a new business. You need maturity of the highest degree to run a new business. And so, before you quit your job that you like, we are getting into a new year. I know a lot of you have the plans to quit. Kindly consider those points. And to get more of this, if you're interested in any of these kind of videos that I'm going to be doing, mostly for coaches and would-be coaches, content creators, service providers, corporate trainers, and that kind of a thing, consider subscribing and keep it here. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.